We know who Snoop Dogg doesn't love, everyone. You should know that from Doggy Style. But it's time for a refined edition of that album. I really feel like Snoop, he's someone who goes in new directions on every one of his albums. And the problem with that is people get sentiments for some of the stuff that he originally did. And so, one of the biggest sentiments I feel like most people had was Doggy Style. Everyone wanted a sequel to that, just like everyone wanted a sequel to The Chronic. Just didn't happen. Snoop Dogg had a murder trial. Tupac died. Death Row crumbled. There were just a number of reasons as to why we couldn't get that. And so, unfortunately, and it's not necessarily that I want a sequel to Doggy Style as much as I want like a West Coast classic like that was. If we could just get a brand new edition and say this has got Cali sunshine, palm trees, beaches, Chronic, and bikinis, I think that you would think obviously that this, and cars of course, but yeah, I mean, just that sort of record, you're just looking for something for Snoop to flex that muscle, but just the album's always had some sort of direction that kind of negated and didn't pay, neglected, that's the word, neglected this sort of sight. So this album is pretty much one of the closest glimpses you're going to get to a full West Coast album by Snoop. People say it's as good as Doggy Style. It's one of his best records, and I would probably have to agree, but he doesn't quite make it a huge classic. It's good if you just take 12 songs, because there's 12 very excellent songs, but there's not 20 excellent songs. So that's the problem. Doggy Style was only 12, 13 songs. So it's obvious Snoop can make that many, but just as far as like a 20 song masterpiece, it doesn't quite hit that as well. And I'll talk about why in a little bit. But yes, you can smoke to this. I feel like Vato, Get a Light, Candy, Round Here, 10 Little Crips. These are some real good songs to smoke to. Now, the production is handled well in a lot of ways. There's going to be some songs I know you've probably heard, like the Akon song, I Wanna Fuck You, but it's really hard. That song really kind of sticks out just because Akon was more focused just about serenading a woman in the club, and that just doesn't suit Snoop Dogg. He's not really, it just feels like his persona is not to be persuasive as much as it is just to let people like him off the bat. I don't know. I mean, it just feels weird him being a kind of, you know what I mean. But that song is on here, and there's just some of the songs I didn't like Beat Up on Your Pads, Conversations, Think About It. They don't really have a lot of direction as far as where you would listen to it. So you think, well, you listen to it in the car, but it just doesn't fit that well. And there's a couple other ones like This and Psst, some of these, but they just don't really fit. So the unheard songs, I did like 11 out of 20, and those songs are Crazy, Vato, That's That Shit, Candy, Get a Light, Gang Bangin' 101, Boss's Life, Round Here, 10 Little Crips, A Bitch I Knew, and Which One of You. Now all of these are exceptional, plus there's 2 almost songs, which is I Wanna Fuck You with Akon and Imagine with Dr. Dre and D'Angelo. So both of these, the reason why I don't recommend Imagine fully is just because the format of the song is more of like a reflecting type song, and I don't see a lot of people playing this song. Snoop and Dre are on it, but it doesn't have them in their heyday. So this is one of the latest songs that Snoop and Dre are on, apart from the Compton album. So just keep that in mind. 2006 they did have music. But yeah, I'll talk about some of the ones that I really recommend. I feel like Get a Light's one that you should check out. That's That Shit. That's a really good one. Crazy's got great hook by Nate Dogg and a really slinky beat. And Round Here, that one's good. Those are some slick ones. You'll probably like 10 Little Crips, Boss's Life, Candy. Those are some other ones. But yeah, the original 11 songs I listed are the ones you need to look at. So I recommend this release, but not by a super landslide, because 13 out of 20 is still not spectacular. I mean, I can listen to Imagine and the Akon song, but they just don't really fit the type album that they should. I mean, obviously Dr. Dre was in his 40s by the time this came out, so you gotta wonder what kind of song you could make. But so I'm gonna give this album 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. But most of these songs are worth checking out. I mean, trust me, if this would have been like 15 songs and all of those 11 songs would have been on there, I would have given this a 10, most definitely. But it dragged on for too long, and it ended up being, falling flat, deflating. So, the future, Snoop Dogg has dropped an album called Bush, and that one is, I'm thinking, similar to the Sensual Seduction song. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. I do know I like Snoop Dogg, but I really want him to drop more West Coast classics. That's really what I want right now from him. And the social score, I'm going to give this a 6.5 social, just a little bit better social score, just because Snoop Dogg didn't slip when it comes to, I mean, he's not someone that you have to hide listening to. And he knows that. He knows that most people are going to say, hey, Snoop Dogg, he's tight. I like his hair. I like his voice. I like his looks. I like his clothes. It's easy to get people to like him. So you couple that with some good West Coast songs on here. I think people will like Crazy, That's That Shit, Candy, 10 Little Crips, Round Here. There's just a number of songs. I mean, obviously, you may have to, not every song is going to be a full-blown social song. But 6.5. Can it be topped? Yes, I think it can. So I give this album a 6 and a 6.5 social. Subscribe for more fun.